because I just, well, this is a Create Together podcast. We're going to get into all kinds of fun stuff. It's Caleb Hargett, Nick Brengle. We're here. We're talking about eyes because I also, for the first time
So for the listeners, I'm wearing
I'm
wearing my glasses today for the first time I've had for about 6 months now, but this is the first time Nick has seen them. And I just never even thought about it.
He kept it under wraps. He didn't want us to know. But no, I have not had because I've worn glasses and contacts for now like 16 years. So, because everybody's blind basically. So, I don't know, I guess I was 13, 14 when I first got them. But I just had an eye appointment and everything done for the first time in like 4 years. Mm-hmm. And so, I could see fine with the contact, and I also have astigmatism, and like each eye has a different power and whatnot. But I'm always very excited to go because I know it's been such a gap that when I sit down and the doctor starts, going through one or two, I'm going to see brand new again because it's been so long. Like I think I've been seeing everything really clearly until I get a brand new prescription that really actually wasn't that much stronger. It was like barely stronger, but just that much helped me see even better. So yeah, I'd order new contacts, which that was another big thing is last time I ordered contacts years ago, now 4 or 5 years ago, and ordered, a bunch of boxes, it's all like weeklies or whatever and of course, I don't know if everybody does this. I think most the optometrists, thank you, know this, but that people wear them way past their due date, and I'm definitely guilty of I will wear contacts way past because I don't wear them to go to sleep. I take them out, put them in the clean, whatever. I just keep going. I usually don't have any major issues, but now they have these ones. AccuV Vita, and they're monthly, which is like a new thing, which is cool. So the ones I have in now are these monthly ones.
Do they cost any more or anything like that?
I don't think they cost that much more.
Okay, that's
even
awesome.
with insurance, they're around that same price point from what I paid for other ones in the past. And then I have not had a new glasses prescription in like 8 years because the last time I went, they typically when you do contact exam, it is a different thing, but they typically do both prescriptions. But last time they didn't give me one, so which I didn't really care because I have a pair of glasses. I only wear them at home, like before I go to bed usually, or if there's some emergency.
Okay.
But the doctor, she did that as well. So now I think I should, I'm going to like Warby Parker, just basic, like the cheapest thing I can get because I only wear them typically at home. But anyways, I'm seeing yeah, it was a great experience. I really enjoy going to the eye doctor because I know when I leave there, I'm like seeing better. And did they dilate your eyes when you went?
The last time, no.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing that anymore because Ariel's like, make sure they do it. Because, I went through all the health screening stuff where they, the air in the eye and they put the camera in the flash and they do all that, but they did not dilate. So I assume maybe one of these other tests are covering for that. Did you do the peripheral vision one?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's a pain in the ass.
Yes.
You put that little clicker 3 minutes on each eye and you're just like, and then your eyes are getting real watery. You're like, maybe I see a line. I'm just clicking, and then the lady comes in, and
somebody's calling me.
It's a doctor
from Toronto, Canada.
Ooh,
sorry,
Toronto.
I'll catch you later.
But yeah, the lady comes in. I said, "Tell me how I did for real." And she's like, "Oh, you did great." I was like, I guess I saw lines. I don't know. I'm just clicking for 3 minutes. But anyway. We can both see, and but that's like a serious thing in not obviously anybody that works on a computer all day, but everybody has, I think, different eye strains and different, like you said, like a long day looking at small monitors. I don't care who you are. After a certain amount of time, it does wear on you. In the past, I've suffered from one eye starts to get really red, but it's not even irritated. It just becomes red, and then somebody says, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine." I was like, "What's wrong?" I look in the mirror, and it's like bloodshot. And I guess I need to take my contacts out. But anyway,
so
eyes,
for the viewers,
important.
I have astigmatism, so I don't have to wear these all the time. This is not like a new look for me or anything like that. Just long days of filming when I'm in the monitor, and then basically when I'm editing on the computer. But today, that's the thing, I've been in the computer for the last 4 days. Or not necessarily 4 days. I've just had a lot of harsh shoots that are going later, and then also editing as well late at night. So this morning I'm waking up and I'm like, I'm struggling pretty hard today.
Our eyes are our most valuable thing, because if I went blind, I don't know what I would do. I don't mean I couldn't make video. I guess I could. Somebody would have to help me. But anyway, so what else is?
What
happened?
We went to Swingers this week, which is a new putt-putt.
We did go mini putt or mini golf putt-putt, whatever you want to call it.
In DC for anyone. It's a new the hippest joint in town, if in my opinion.
Oh, it was popping.
As far as new stuff, it's pretty awesome. But anyway, it's this like adults
only. Right?
Adults only. It's 21 up. Yeah. UK-based company that this is like, or UK-based, company that basically I think this and the one in New York, they're just open too, but those are like their first US locations. So one opened in DC. Long story short, for everyone, like I call it Swingers, and you're probably like, what is this? It's a club
kind
for,
of sus.
it's like like that's kind of the whole thing. Is it's actually basically you just get to drink, and it's indoors, and you can drink on the course, and like they have waiters that come around and take orders and stuff like that. You eat. It's more like a real club, but as far as the putt-putt golf, you only do 9 holes, and there's 2 courses, and like I don't know, it's playful, it's fun.
It's fun. I think it's more of a like you go with your friends, and it's a social thing more than like we're gonna go compete on the putt-putt. It's definitely more of like a fun, like everybody's laughing and giggling, and every
also,
hole is bizarre.
True.
For sure.
That's the thing too. For listeners, viewers, anyone, like I'm selling it short by saying it's just an indoor putt-putt place where you get drinks. No, they have curated this. It's like the best curation I think I've ever seen. It's like literally going to an art exhibit or like installation that like, I mean, it's a whole different world when you walk into this place. It literally feels like you step into Willy Wonka's like chocolate factory. Like when you see those sets, it's exactly how it kind of is.
And the fact that when you come in, you get the vibe initially, but it is kind of cool that you go down into it and then you're there. Like it kind of seems quiet up top. You walk in, you're like, what's going on? As soon as you go down, you're like, oh, okay, there's like hundreds of people in here, and it's just like
very unassuming,
lively, and
it has that private club feel.
Definitely.
From the outside. Sign's not even really flashy. Just kind of like,
no, it's there. But you got a hole in one, so.
And I got a hole in one, yes.
On the hole that mattered, because you got to spin the wheel, and you got a free shot.
Yep.
So. And then they have like 3 different food, like kind of quick.
So I think it's food trucks is what they're technically calling them. Okay. I think, which means I think they may rotate them. So like while we were there, there was like pizza and tacos and things like that, but because they're calling them like food trucks or like having them multiple places, because they're all each their own different restaurants. Yeah, I think they'll probably rotate those, which will be sick for like local DC. It'll make it.
And make it fresh
vibe too. Yeah.
You wonder if the courses they'll do that eventually too. I'm sure those will last longer, but like
they would like change the courses,
change things around and stuff.
Oh, that's the thing too for the viewers. Like the actual holes. That's the thing. They're all kind of like super trick holes. I don't even know how to put it. Like they're
beyond trick hole for sure. Yeah, it's definitely.
It's not like your traditional putt like at all. These holes are like super. They're designed to like just be fun. Like you could hate putt and I think love this.
Yeah, because if Tiger Woods went there, I don't think he would. I mean, he would probably do the same as most people, right? Like, and then they start you off that first hole, like that you have no chance to get it in. It's like everybody has like 6 strokes.
Even if you're good at putt or good at golf, like this course doesn't care. Like it doesn't. It'll still. It's a chancy course. I don't know. They've like really thought those holes out, so that's super cool. But. So you guys should go check it out. This is not sponsored in any way by that.
No, it's definitely worth to go. It's 100% worth to check it out. Definitely. So we did that. And then my wife and I, we've had the same couch for like 7 years, and we've been wanting to get a new couch, and we finally did. This company called Burrow. It's all sustainable, and you got to wait like years to get it for some reason, but we didn't. It's supposed to come in August from what it said, and then all of a sudden, like on Friday, like it's coming tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay, we still have our other couch. This isn't much of a like notice here. So like 6 boxes show up, mass, like 50, 60-pound boxes, right? The UPS guy's helping us get them in. And then we got to try to get rid of our other couch, which pretty awesome that our neighbors who moved into our old place, they're like, oh, what are you guys doing with it? Oh, well, we're just giving, like, whoever wants it, we're trying to get rid of it, you know? They're like, we'll take it. Like, awesome. So it lived in 145, came to 146, now it went back to 145, which is awesome. So it made it a lot of stress relief for sure. But then I think it took us about 2.5 hours to put it together, which actually like, it wasn't that bad. It's just, it's big, it's heavy, and, it's a lot of pieces and whatnot. But anyway,
and it's like what you were saying, or from what you were telling me, it's like friction-based locking, right?
Yeah. So actually, the one that we got doesn't have the buckles. The one we have actually has like these plates, and then it has these little like screw, like big flathead screws or whatnot. Okay. And so if you were gonna adjust it, you would have to like, you'd like get under it and unscrew and like move pieces or whatnot. For us, I was like, we probably won't ever do that anyway, but it's kind of cool that you could, especially if you move to a different space or something, and you're like, oh, it could work this way or whatnot. So that was exciting. And then on the we're talking a lot about home goods and hair and eyes. Yesterday, so today's Monday. We're filming this on the day. The audio version definitely it's going to come out, so I think we'll be on par with whoever's like waiting for it to ping their phone, which maybe there's a few of you, I have no idea. Yes. But yesterday, Sunday, I shot basically a lady reached out to me who I was connected with another artist in DC who does color and hair.
Who did the artwork for the Create Together podcast when it comes to like our thumbnail and stuff like that.
Yes, so Rose is great, and she has, she's like a staple in DC when it comes to like murals and art and just social justice and just working in all that.
And you've done realm. Like all your big projects in the last.
I've done a lot of
2
stuff
years
with
her, right?
Yeah. And so she somehow a bunch of people that know her, they know me and I've never met them. So somebody had reached out who does her hair and color, and who is kind of going through this like heavy interview process and needs this video done of kind of a working interview type thing. And so that was yesterday, and it was a lot of fun, because again, it was going into a project that I had most of the creative control to just kind of shoot it the way I want to, and then
what was the company you were saying that
it's called Sassoon.
Okay, so they're just saying that because for the people who know, I guess.
Yeah, I had no idea.
You were saying it's like the pinnacle everyone wants to be at. Like this is
it's the industry standard.
Very important tape for her. You're gonna make or break whether or not she gets there, basically. Right?
Well, hopefully not me. Hopefully she made the hair look good. I don't know, So, but so just got to be around a bunch of people that I've heard of, and finally got to actually meet in person that we didn't know were going to be there, which was kind of cool. So that I actually it's almost like a 48-hour film project, because it needs to be done by like end of day on the 30th, because she has to like get it to that, like put it out publicly or whatnot. I forgot exactly how she has to deal with it, but after we do, like I'll be working on that today and tomorrow, and then I also have I'm working on like a promo reel for National Hispanic Medical Association for their conference, which won't be till like March of next year. So they've been, they're going to be great. They've already been great. But they, compile, all these clips and different things from last year's conference, and then a couple clips from years past before that.
Okay. So they've had timestamps. This is not really like their first rodeo as far as
for
video,
this it
right?
is, I think. Oh no, for this it definitely is. It's a whole new comms team, and like they definitely they know what they're doing. They haven't done stuff like this before. They have all this footage like archived, but they definitely are much more on point with, like, they combed through it and just sent timestamps and specific videos. So it makes my job a lot easier, but I also get some creative control on the editing part because there's, let's say 30 different clips. Well, I need to make like a 1 minute little quick promo so I can kind of,
you can finesse it
a
they
little
edit
bit.
it, you finesse it basically.
You
Construct, or they like construct it, but then you finesse it, like that's it, right?
Yeah, and it's been like really collaborative because their communications team is all kind of new. They're not really new, I don't think, to communications, but they're all new to this organization and being together. Okay. And so it's been kind of fun to go through. It's nice for
you, right? Because you're not necessarily, I mean, you're kind of the new guy, but you're not the new guy.
Yeah, actually, like I'm being looked at for more of the answers. Together. Yeah, because especially with conference stuff, I mean, I'm not a conference guy, but from my past experience at Fairfax when I worked at the church, we worked with our own big conference, and then we worked with another like national one. So I have all these things in the back of my head, right? These little questions of, okay, like in the past, there hasn't really been this on-brand font or on-brand style, like all these little things that I don't really care about usually, but I want to communicate that because it's important to them.
That mega church knowledge, and that's when it comes to conferences. I mean, that's like, where can you get better conference training than working for a church? Putting stuff together. So that makes sense. Yeah,
so figuring out what fonts you want to use, like
it's probably kind of nice too, right? To go back and kind of flex the muscle a little bit. Not that you loved that muscle, like you said, you don't use that.
Yeah, but at least give them like little things, and then they're smarter than me on the communications end, so it's cool to just throw out little things, and then it creates ideas for them and less for me. Like I can just go do my thing. So yeah, working on that. And then there's a bunch of other things. It was a busy weekend.
I bet you when you were working at the church and you're doing all those things, you probably thought you're like, when I leave this place, I'll never do this stuff again. I'm so done with this. I'm like, and then now you're like, it's actually becoming a superpower. Like, you have this like little extra thing in your back just because you did it, right?
Right. Yeah. Now the hands-on part, I definitely will always say no to being a part of like in-person, like filming conference stuff. I know that there's obviously a lot of people out there that do that, and that's great. And if you're asked to come on as like a camera operator or whatnot, hey, if you want to do it, do it. I did it plenty of times.
You like the edit better than the shooting?
Yeah, because like when the conferences that I shot stuff for, I tried to stay away from the speaker and like doing that stuff. I always would delegate that stuff to other people, and I would just shoot like B-roll stuff to put together things for after the fact or promote for the next year. I don't know. Same with live production. I had to do it, and I didn't want to do it, and I had to learn like all these random things it's like learning algebra, and then you're like, well, I'm not going to be like calculus. I'm not going to be like an astro.
You got to be a will in the cog at that point. You got to work with the team,
I don't like it because it's just mundane, and it's it's not the most creative thing in the world. Like Caleb is giving a TED talk right now. Like, what do you do? Just shoot him, just like he's talking. So I was able to like back then, like actually a really exciting thing that I got to do. One of the first, and the conference was called the Blue Conference. And I think they still do it. Who knows? I wanted to do like a live intro. So for each speaker, before they came out, on this massive screen, it would be like, Blue Conference or whatever. And then it would be that speaker introducing themselves and answering like a couple of fun questions. Okay. And that was to help like transition like a speaker going off, and then help with time a little bit, because most of these talks were kind of a TED Talk-esque thing. So,
and like most speakers, when they have that, I know that they'll like have like a sizzle reel that maybe would come on right there. Between,
exactly.
But I guess you're doing that instead of doing that, you would have that. I get it.
Yeah. So the production part of it was exciting because basically, like logistically, behind the auditorium, there's all these rooms or whatnot, and I had a whole setup in a room with this big blue backdrop and everything set up. And so that day of speakers, literally the hour before they would go on, they would come in there, they'd sit down, and they would answer a couple questions, do their introduction, and then right there on a computer, like I'm like basically live editing right there. But it was such a cookie cutter thing. Like everything's really set. I just need to put it together and push it over to who's doing the live like production stuff.
That's why I was like I was like, you'd rather do edit than that. Is like for me that
was fun.
Oh, that I love fun. That because also when you leave that, you're done. You don't have to go sit with the conference for however long it takes you to edit it.
Exactly.
So that's just my train of thought. But that's funny. Yeah, we have very different views on that.
And then editing the actual like
because I actually also would love, like you said, tripod going back and forth.
But for like 8 hours.
That's the best practice you can ever get on being a good tripod operator. Dude, I'm just trying to say that because I literally, to this day, people get tripods and think that they're good at using tripods just because they have a good tripod or fluid head tripod. No. That's a skill just as much as a gimbal or
for
crane
sure.
Or like anything else. Like it is.
Especially when somebody's on stage going left to right. It's...
Well, to practice. Anticipate their move. Yeah, you have to
practice. Yeah, so you have to have a lot of grace with, especially in a church environment. It's a lot easier because people are volunteering typically. So
and it requires you to stay focused long. Like I don't know, like that is something that in the video world, I mean, we get that, but at our level, a lot of stuff is very fast. You get to keep moving, like blah blah blah. That's the one place where it's like, it's challenging. It
slows down.
It pulls at you have to really dig into your mental faculties to be like, stay focused, like on what you are doing. Don't let your mind wander. Like,
or even being the switcher. Like I've done that a lot of times. There's 6-7 cameras. And for, let's say a whole hour, like you are the switcher. So you are you're directing, like you have a headset on, every camera up has a headset on, you are controlling each and every shot, cam 1 through 8, and you're like, all right, cam 1 stay, or whatever, Caleb, whoever the person is, like Caleb, stay on in the middle, and then okay, cam 2, get ready to like center left or whatever, and then like you switch over. So just though that was kind of fun as well every once in a while, because it's definitely a much more like organic experience than like no one's telling you exactly how to do it. So each person that was directing, a lot of times it would be a volunteer, and it was kind of fun to see like everybody has a very different style. There's one guy who I forgot his name, super awesome dude, who worked for some local TV station here. I don't know where, I forgot where. So. And he'd been doing it for like 30 years. Wow. So he was very set in his way of doing it
for a long time. Yeah.
And so when he comes in, it's like, hey, I have my philosophy, but you do it because, again, you're giving your time and energy to this. So I'm like, you do it your way, man. Like no one should tell you what to do because like you've been doing it and you have your own way. Yeah. So, and obviously that can change because then you have some people that are like, that don't do it right at all. You have every once in a while somebody who like never switch. They would just stay on like one shot for like so long. Yeah. Like there's all these other people here. They're giving their time. Go to them. Like have faith that they'll, shoot something decent or whatever. And of course during like live worship, that was probably the most exciting because you have, 8 people on stage, guitar, drums, 3 different singers. You have 2 people with handheld cameras on stage. You have somebody on a jib.
Yeah, that's a whole.
It's fun for a little bit. Yeah. It's not. It's cool to learn those things.
Yeah, that's the labor side of. I mean, it's intense, right? It's hard on your body. You gotta. Again, there's a whole lot of discipline. I guess that's what I'm saying. This is super discipline driven, like work there.
But that's where I learned, like even podcasting stuff. It was, I kind of was not forced, but asked, hey, do we have what it takes to like do a podcast? And luckily I moved to Northern Virginia and was in my car, 2 hours a day. And I didn't really listen to podcasts in Florida because it just wasn't a thing yet. It wasn't that big yet until I moved here. And it was like, NPR and Joe Rogan and all these things. So I started to really enjoy podcasts. And then I was asked, hey, can we do something like this? I'm like, I think so. So then again, from the ground floor, going to YouTube University and watching whoever does podcasts and figuring out like what's the simplest way we can do that. And really like the way we're doing it is still how I did it from the beginning. It was
Yeah.
like, as simple as, we can crank them out.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
anyway,
awesome.
yeah, I learned.
I was just like, yeah.
No,
It's like you and so I know you had, the time when you're doing, it's like one of those things, like that would be one of those jobs when you're doing it. You're like, this is horrible. Like,
Right.
this is so bad. But then
But you're
later on, you
banking it
realize
later.
like, holy crap, dude. Like that was,
You have the knowledge in there,
gave
whether
me
you
so
like it
many
or not.
tools that I'm carrying from that. Yeah. Whether or not I want to like necessarily give them credit for it or whatever, like, or talk about the church per se.
Right.
It definitely seemed like it prepared you for a lot of bigger things now.
Learned
so.
a lot, yeah, and also learned last minute everything. That's another big. I
Very
think
quick
that's a big aspect of what we
turnover
do.
and stuff.
Is we obviously enjoy working with clients or talent or whoever that are on the same wavelength when it comes to our time and really conscious of that. Like, what is it going to take to do this the right way?
Yes.
It's just not always the case in not just the church world, but in a lot of that fast-paced, quick turnover, like we need to get things out. There'd be a lot of instances where it's like all of a sudden this person's going to be here today. Like, we want to do something with that. Like, what can we do? And it's like within like 30 minutes, I have to just make a decision. Like, okay, yeah, let's get in this room. I'll set up a backdrop. Like, let's go do it. And again, probably wasn't always thrilled to do those things, but after the fact, it's kind of nice to be like, all right, I probably was not in the best mood when I went in to set all that up and do it, but then editing it and looking at it after, like, all right, it was worth it, because for the most part, it would be one thing pops into my head. There was a guy, I want to say he is in his early 90s.
Okay.
He is like he had to have been Vietnam. Anyway, he was in like 2 wars. And it was him, and it was like 3 generations of people. And it was like, not a panel, but it was just, they're all on camera together. And he's sharing some of his stories, and like the grandkid and then the son, like they're all kind of like pitching in. It was just sort of like this conversation about life and the church and how like the two intersected or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, again, it was one of those like very rushed things. But then when I'm sitting there, headphones on, watching the cameras, and I'm done, everything's set, I'm done, I'm just paying attention, listening. It was, worth listening to somebody who's, 3 times my age and has seen things that I'll never see, and talking about that, which is cool.
Isn't it? Yeah. It's awesome, right? How transforming that, like,
exactly,
your day can be just because
right
of the things we do. Like, you never know when
what's going to happen.
So, like,
or even being on set too long.
Happen?
That's another thing. Like the thing yesterday, it went hours longer than it should have. And I know there's obviously a lot of people who just immediately would be annoyed by that, and they wouldn't be down for that. But hey, like if you're in depending on who you're working around, like yesterday I was around all these people that I've kind of heard of, they've heard of me, we're all collaborating on something and trying to help one person, like elevate them for something. I mean, it could have went till 2, 3 in the morning. I would have been cool as long as they fed me
if
again.
I'm in, dude, I'm there. I'm there until it's done.
Yeah,
like,
maybe I don't always look like it. I think as it gets later, I have like this, like, is he okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I was like, I'm just not peppy anymore. Like I'm just getting tired. But I was like, this is exciting. And also, that you're bringing value to something that other people can't. Just like I don't cut hair, color hair, or I don't do makeup or whatever it is. So when you're bringing value to something that you really know it's going to make a difference, even though we think it's such a simple thing, like this isn't really that big a deal, but it's such a big deal for other people to get something like that. So I don't know, it's always fun. And
even if it doesn't, if it's a shoot, you're like, I don't like the shoot, but it's still going to take longer. I'm always grateful that I have the opportunity to sit there and do that, and I will push through it, because it clicks in me like, I don't want to do this. This is not what I like right now, but this is practice. This is an exercise for me to kick it in high gear for when I actually need to be able to push this long on something I really love,
right,
and don't have the energy for. Exactly. It's like, I use it as kind of like, going to the gym in a sense, like when that starts to happen.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I had a project that I think I just finished. I don't know. Actually, no, I still have one more shoot for it. It's been going on for a while with a production company, but anyway, it's for the State Department. That's all I can say. And those shoots, yeah, long story short, these shoots are like, whew. They very, very, like it's scene driven stuff, so it's really cool. I'm getting to storytell, and like as a DP in that scenario, like it's just awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm getting to do that, and obviously they have access to all these cool places, and we have these sets and different stuff like that. It sucks I can't talk about it really, but.
And this will eventually be an
or show
internal
or
thing,
anything.
or will it be external?
So this will actually be an internal thing. A lot of this is, but that's the thing. See now, usually when you hear internal, it's like not important. It's like
No,
just
not
to
that.
show
Just
people.
like,
I know,
will
no.
people ever see it that aren't a part of
That, and that's
that?
I think that's what I was
yeah.
saying earlier. It sucks that like I'm sitting here talking about it like nobody will ever see it, but like this is to. It's like, yeah, it's weird. Like I'm not trying to like over push it, but it's like it's so important. Like this will probably be the only time this is ever done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This stuff that's being made is to show very like
No, I get you. You don't have to say
secretive,
I
like
get
things
it. Yeah.
like one time, like it's like they can only take their risks like once.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like that's why it's also like it's that same feeling of like I'm excited to push when I have to on those things, but I've had a couple where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like the same thing. Like this is a shoot, but sometimes the shoots you go so longer, or there's like a certain
You forget where you're
thing
at.
that's being done or something like that, and it's like you have to almost start shooting it like a doc to get the right take for something. You got to just roll.
Right.
And just let them go, let the actors like just do it, or the person who's not an actor is playing an actor is like just do it.
Right.
Like they almost like my direction almost will make, or it's not my direction, but like just some direction, or it could be my direction, some direction from anything. It's like making them screw up because you can tell like everything is so thought out with this. I mean, yeah, this is their government. Like this is fucking. They got it. They got this script. They got all this stuff figured out, and they've probably done it in their heads a million times. But it's just like sometimes, you bring that other person in the production. It could be the director. It could be me. I would like to think that it's not, but that's just my own ego talking, I guess. But yeah, there's like sometimes where you kind of they know what to do. You get to a point with actors and stuff that you can only direct the scene so much. When you keep doing it, you actually can start killing more and more each time. Where you're like, no, give it, no, you gotta give me that. They probably already got that if you just let them try it by themselves like 2 or 3 times without you saying that. You may be the only thing throwing it off, and a lot of people don't get that. But and again, that makes it more stress. I'm actually overworking myself when I do that. Blah blah blah. But anyway, I've had to to bring it all back. I've had to do on those a lot of checking in with myself in that shoot. Just be like, yo, reel it back in. Like this is a test, right? Like this is important. It's maybe not be important to you right now, but it's like this is important. And if it's not, like right now, you make it your practice,
Right.
So be intentional about your practice right now. My practice is getting through a shoot like this so that I can get through the ones that I really love.
You're building on already something. You just keep building on the same foundation of like all these tools that are, they're not a real physical thing, but like we keep building these tools in our head that like, what we want to do, what we don't want to do. Should we do it this way, not that way? And then also every shoot, like you said, there's like different people in different shoots. So you're dealing with just different
personalities.
I think
that's, I didn't even bring it up, but that's like, well, I guess I am kind of touching on that because I'm talking about the actors and different things like that. But yes, this is a place where having to deal with personalities is like, wow, this has been, there's not like anyone that, like now everything's going to be tapped because I've mentioned different things on the line, but it's probably not. But there's not been like someone or one thing where it like stands out, but there is just so many different, like nobody's been obnoxious, but everyone in a field like that, like are just, the government, like they know what they do, they know who they are, they know blah, blah, blah. So like when you come in, you're an outsider and you're going to instruct, it is, you do have to kind of, it takes a little bit to break some walls down. You know what I'm saying?
They're not the doodling kind of people. They need to have it set in stone.
They're willing to collaborate, but you gotta like, you really gotta warm them up a little bit, you know? Like I think that's the thing.
Yeah, no,
that's
definitely.
a little different. So, because at the same time, like, yeah, I'm in there doing something that's like super special. Like this is their world. Like they don't get to show,
right?
Or they don't get to be it. And so like, but in their head too, this is the one time I can talk to somebody who doesn't know, and they're like, they want to really like let me have it, and it's like they don't want me to let them have it. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, let's you know. They're like, no, I'm gonna do my thing where I teach you something. I'm just like, okay, you know, but
I'll listen.
And so that part is trying, because it's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of just making sure you're sitting there listening and like just being present, I guess, you know. And I think that's where I'm really getting is like those shoots have really just tested on, you got to be present, right? That's the only way this is gonna work. And then when I start doing that, I've just noticed like, this is all right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is all right.
It's
I don't know.
smoother that way.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because I should have been done with I mean, basically what's happened, it's not even that I should have been done. Like, I'm done with what I was originally contracted for. I did that probably 4 months ago. We were done. And those were big shoots. Like, but that was essentially, when I signed up, like that was but when we came on, like that was the project and it was going to be done. Excuse me. Oh man. I had a little indigestion there, but
lunchtime.
Sorry for the viewers. Yeah. But long story short, those things have worked so well. They're like, we got to do this for some other stuff, and then so now they're like, let's keep it going.
Cool.
Let's keep it going. So it's not that like we've screwed up and it's not working. It's like it's almost working too good. And I think too, it's like every time, because you know I don't work for this company. They are coming to me again, and I'm just like, because I know like. It's big it's rewarding when you know that your work is getting a company more work. Mm-hmm. Like more work than their whole company is sitting there planning and negotiating before it's all done. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's pretty rewarding. But it is also like I know wow, you guys are gonna, you know, as a freelancer, you know, my budget is gonna be way more than somebody that works for them.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, it's just been really rewarding to be like, whoa, like you guys also know like it's my sauce that's helping too.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. And the fact that like we've had these conversations before of like these, whether it's a department of the government or again, hypothetically, you know, Nike or whoever, right? These companies or government entities that have like big budgets and much more to work with. Yeah. It's also really awesome when we hear stories of like, well, Caleb got this awesome job with a government thing that easily could have just went to a agency, or you know, they could, right? That could have been to
technically
them.
Technically, it did. That's the thing. It's them that they're not. Yeah, technically, it is an agency that's coming to me to be the DP.
Gotcha. But still, I'm just saying like that part is cool, that it's not just like all an internal thing.
Yes.
That it's like, hey, here's a guy like this. Caleb's over here. Like, let's bring him into this and not like keep everything in a little box.
And that's what. Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. This has been cool because they have their own DP.
Gotcha.
But instead, they're having me DP it, and he's now just playing editor, or he will run a second unit with me for me. But like, I've been the lead DP on it, which has been really. Yeah, I mean, I guess I am tooting my own horn here, but like I think it's just been really cool to see that happen, and to also be able to like, I guess getting to a place where like that DP is also like cool with it, like he wants it that way, you know, like and he's been such a pleasure to work with. Also, I know that again, being a freelancer, you come in to work with an agency, stuff like that. Usually everyone has their guards up, and they're kind of gonna not help you as the new guy, you know what I mean? Like so that's been cool, and just to be so like receptive too, just like. I don't know, so down for it. I don't know. It's like pretty good. And it makes me feel good too, because it's like, yeah, I'm not so caught up in my own ego that I can't do it. Like, I don't come up like a jackass every time something
definitely.
like that happens. So That's been pretty cool. But yeah, that took a turn. I didn't mean to actually
No,
go
no,
down
that's
that
great.
rabbit hole of that.
No, we've had a
project,
good like big chunk of just talking philosophy and just like I think it's like very different than what we've done in the past. So I think this was cool. If you're watching, well, it doesn't even matter anymore. But tonight's game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Okay, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Montreal Canadiens. So obviously, I've been running on high for the past like month and a half, but now it's like it's pretty exciting. So so today can't get to 8:00 soon enough for tonight's game, but
So for the listeners, Nick has literally been on the shoots that I've had him on. He's literally either in the car or leaves set early. Like the production will go on for 4 hours after, but Nick leaves in hour 1 because he has.
It's the only
a Lightning game to go watch. So like it's like I had to do so much explaining that like he's not gambling.
No, he's not a gambler.
There's nothing that he just has this pride in the team, and it's
I am a diehard
all right, because in the creative
Lightning.
world, you're not normally seeing like, the jock stuff a little bit more like a sport that it's. I'm not gonna say jock, but I don't mean like that. Like I don't mean that in a negative way, but it's very mainstream, I guess, in a lot of. You just don't find a lot of people on set that are like gonna be into that. So it's like. Yeah, there's a lot of explaining that I'm sitting there doing like, no, he's okay. It's okay. And it's because it's okay to be that way too. So I have to do all this explaining like,
it's my only thing.
Fine.
It's my only thing. I decided I've been a Lightning fan since like 2003, 2002 when my dad brought me to like some of my first games. So we're talking, I'm in like freshman, sophomore year of high school around there. And so, but in the past handful of years, I've really like before we kind of moved up here, so almost like 8 years ago, I've just slowly, faded away from a lot of other sports. I still pay attention. I'll look at scores of basketball, football, but as I've gotten older, I've decided, all right, what do I really, really love, and what do I want to put my time and effort into? And so I'm
Makes
like,
sense.
It's my Tampa Bay Lightning. That's my thing.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what I was able to explain. Like, he's not doing this for anyone, right? Like, it's not you guys. That's for him. Like this is cool. Like, he's not doing that to fit into a club or anything like that,
definitely
right?
not.
Which is what sports usually are for the average person. They're just doing it so they have something to talk about, with their guys and make them like, macho. But I was like,
I live
many
here.
People. None of it. Like, look, he's on
my
set
friends
here.
Are back home. Yeah,
None of us know anything about it. So it's like,
And I love everything to do with hockey. Obviously there's other sports, maybe not as much looked at a traditional team sport, but hockey for me, in my, I think, strong opinion, is one of the last team sports, especially in America, beside, football, basketball, soccer, baseball, whatever it is, that the team, the organization, the club itself is the integrity and how much time and effort is put into keeping a family together, in a sense of from general managers to the taxi squad, the guys who never get to play in the playoffs because, you can only dress so many players, and just guys sticking around. I mean, my Tampa Bay Lightning have a chunk of guys who have been on that team for almost 9-10 years, and guys that easily could have went somewhere else to make more money. So hockey is kind of one of those dying things of
I know
like,
it's
people
like
leaving to go make a mega team or whatever.
So I know we're friends with the equipment manager for the Capitals. We know that that's like really big, and like he is. It's weird too. It becomes like his own family is like really big. Like they're really big into that. Like they take, like the dads come out and like they have like.
NHL does
outings that are like just with the dads, with the players, and
every
like stuff
team
like
does
that all the time.
Yeah, teams have like a month where like all the like certain teams, they go to all these, they travel for a few of the games, and then like on TV they make it a point to like show the dads, and they do the moms. They have the moms as well, but and not that every sport does a lot of good things. It's just I want to attach to like a certain thing because again. I don't want to spend all my time watching basketball, football, hockey, soccer, baseball. I really want to focus on like one thing because obviously what I love to do is obviously what we're doing now. So
it's funny because I would just mention that like I don't even know that much about hockey, but we watch a good bit. But like I've held the Stanley Cup, like because
Well, then the
when
Caps
the Caps
won.
won,
Right.
that guy, the guy that is our friend, blah blah blah. I'm not like trying to like oust him if anything is what I'm trying to say, like put him out there like that, but
that's awesome.
yeah, we got to go to his party the day where he had the cup and stuff.
It's amazing.
And,
It's the best trophy in sports.
It was so fun. Yeah, like people putting their babies in this cup and like everything. It was so sick. That whole process is very cool too. I can talk about that one day. Well, I bet, yeah, you actually would really want to know. See, that to me, that's useless information. Like, I got to do all that stuff, but like,
right.
I'm not at every hockey. Like, I'm not watching the Caps every time they play. Whereas,
right.
you have a freaking jersey.
Yeah,
I don't have a hockey jersey.
Yeah, I miss like 1 or 2 games a year. Like, I make it a point to watch as much as I can.
That's cool. Yeah, because again, I take it in. It's like super cool. Like, I respect it, but it's like I pack it away. I know it's not for everyone.
Right.
Exactly. I just didn't think about it. It's actually for you.
But anyway, yeah. So go Bolts, and yeah, that's where I'll be tonight and every other night.
Will you do anything special for tonight?
No. I'll just be at home watching the game
on that new couch.
Yeah, I usually am standing most of the game because that's how crazy I am. But
exactly.
No, I'll be sitting and standing and doing both. But yeah, nothing special. A lot of talk with my buddy. Like, I flew down in 2015 to go to a game when we were in the final. Last year, of course, we won it, but it was in the bubble in Toronto, so no one could go. So this year, I'm never going to fly down to go to a game 1 or game 2, only because it's not a clinching game. I would prefer, if I'm going to shovel out that kind of money, I want to go when it's a chance for us to actually win it. So that would be a game 5 if we somehow won in 5, or game 7, which I hope it doesn't go to. So, and you can't go to Montreal right now. So anybody, and only the team can travel to go to those games, because they still have it's much strict because of just it's much different up there still. So so hopefully it'll be over in like a week. Well, it'll be over in 2 weeks regardless, but because there's a game every other night. But anyway, so that's where I'll be, and then the Olympics will start, and I'm pretty pumped for that.
I was watching qualifying yesterday. Yeah.
I'm pumped for Olympics. Like, I feel like not every Olympics I've been like all in for. It feels like every other Olympics I get excited, but I don't know, something about this one, because it was supposed to be last year and now it's actually happening. I think I think people that aren't even really into track and field or swimming or whatever it is.
We've had a year of, we've had a whole year where people couldn't, that wanted to be attached to sports, or maybe a little attached to sports. They didn't really have them for a whole year. So now they're like jonesing, and they didn't, for something they never knew that they had.
Exactly. And I think
that much of an interest.
It's one of those things that people can, like, you don't even have to be a huge fan of any of that.
People,
it's just uniting, and everybody kind of understands little things. Like, you throw out a name, you're like Katie Ledecky, and even if you don't care about swimming, you've heard it. And you're like,
it's also it's society. Like, it's a condition that our culture has presented, like, you gotta be for your country, you know what I mean? It's like
true. True.
Our whole the culture of America. It's not even just America, it's everything, right? But
yeah, definitely.
For the most part, it just makes you people are watching stuff and they don't even know why.
Right. Having pride and
another
people
thing
representing
to talk about
America.
And be like, yes, it's all of us, camaraderie, like US.
Exactly. So anyway,
I get it.
Other than that, I think we're done. We'll wrap it up here. We got a lot of editing to do. I had a long weekend, and then I'm looking forward to like 3 straight days of like, what's the word? Like some, machine gun editing. I'm literally going to be like cranking it out. So, but it'll be fun. I'm not going to complain about it. But anyway, so
nice.
All right.
Good luck on that. All right.
Take it easy.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Bye.